Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In the last video, we learned about default parameters, the return keyword and helper functions. In this video, we are going to finish the next few lessons on Codecademy. Function expressions. There are multiple ways of declaring a function. We can use the function keyword as we have used in the previous lessons, or we can use what is called a function expression. In a function expression, we assign a function to a variable. The variable will be used to call the function. We declare a normal variable and on the right hand side we write the function definition along with its parameter list. Now we can use this variable to call or refer to the function. To do so, we write the variable name and pass arguments within parentheses next to that. So this is an example of a function expression. We declare a variable calculate area using the const keyword, and on the right hand side we write the function keyword which tells JavaScript that this variable will hold a function. So this variable will take in two arguments, width and height, and the function body consists of this code which calculates the area based on the width and height and returns the value of that area. So now let's come to the instructions. Let's say we have a plant that we need to water once a week on Wednesdays. We could define a function expression to help us check the day of the week and the plant needs to be watered. Create a variable named plant needs water using the const variable keyword. Assign an anonymous function that takes in a parameter of day to plant needs water. So I write const plant needs water, move the cursor a little bit, is equal to variable named and using the const keyword. I'll assign an anonymous function. Okay, so I have to write in function that takes in a parameter day and create an empty function. Now when I click run, I can go to the next instruction. Now we need to add some code to the function body of plant needs water. In the function body, add an if conditional that checks day is equal to Wednesday. If the conditional is truthy, inside the if block, use the return keyword to return true. So within the function body, I come and say if day is equal to Wednesday, I return true. Now let's run the code. We can go to the next instruction. So on days that aren't Wednesday, plant needs water should return false. Add an else statement after the if statement. Inside the else statement, use the return keyword to return false. So I come below the else if statement and write else return false. So now let's run the code. So call the plant needs water and pass in Tuesday as an argument. So now notice notice that we have to call the function using this variable name. This variable name and this variable name is the same. So I come below and say plant needs water and pass in the parameter of argument and pass in Tuesday over there. So now the code compiled successfully. So let's check the plant needs water, return the expected value. Log plant needs water Tuesday to the console. If it worked correctly, you should see false log to the console. So let's come over here and to the beginning of this statement, console.log, and log this statement again. So now let's see. Now if we run the code, we should see false. We should see false because day is not equal to Wednesday; it's equal to Tuesday. So let's run. Okay, something is wrong. Did I not close the bracket? Oh, okay, I misspelled console over here. Console.log. Let's run the code now. False comes as expected. Before we go to the next challenge, let's try out something. So instead of writing this statement after the function declaration, I'm going to cut the statement and come before the function declaration and write it over here. So we know that if we define a function using the function keyword and we call the function before the function declaration, the code will compile properly and we can get a proper output. But now I've done something similar over here. I am calling the function before the function declaration. So now when we run, let's see what happens. We get an error which says plant needs water is not defined. So this is because we have declared the function to a variable. So in a function expression, we cannot call the function before its declaration because the function is assigned to a variable. Arrow functions. One more way to declare functions is by using the arrow function syntax. We declare a variable using const, assign it to parentheses which holds a parameter list, and then use an arrow which points to the function body within a pair of curly braces. I feel this is the best way to declare functions, but we must be familiar with the other two function declarations because other developers may favor them. So now in this example, we are using arrow function syntax to declare a function. We declare a variable rectangle area using the const keyword and assign it to parentheses which holds parameter list which consists of width and height, and then using the equal to and the greater than symbol, we form an arrow which points to the function body enclosed within a pair of curly braces. So the function body has two statements which declares a variable area and stores the product of width and height and then returns the value of area. So now we can come to the instructions. Change plant needs water to use arrow function syntax. So this function is copied from the previous challenge using the function expression. All we have to do is modify this to perform the same operation but using the arrow function syntax which we learned just now. So we can leave this part as it is, but instead of function we have to write a parameter list and then point that parameter list to the function body. So now after making these changes, everything should be done. Let's run the code and it should still return, no, it should not return anything actually. Yeah, because we haven't called the function. And the code compiled successfully. Just to test, we can pass it, we can call the function. So I'm just going to log this directly. Console.log plant needs water. I'm going to put Tuesday. I'm going to put Wednesday 2 in the next statement. So I come here and say Wednesday, click on run, false and true appears. False comes in the first line because the day is Tuesday and the function will turn false if the day is not Wednesday, and true comes in the next line because day is Wednesday and the function will return true if the day is Wednesday. So again, let's put these statements above the function before the function declaration and see what happens. We can come over here and copy paste those two statements. Now let's run the code and see what happens. We again get an error which says plant needs water is not defined because again the function body is assigned to a variable and we know by now that we cannot use variables before declaring variables. So therefore this error comes when we try and call functions before the function declaration while we are using arrow function syntax or function expression syntax. So now we can go to the next challenge. Concise body arrow functions. JavaScript provides subtle syntaxes which can help us write cleaner code. The most condensed or simplest form of a function is known as concise body. If a function takes in either no parameters or more than one parameters, we put parentheses after the assignment. However, if a function takes in only one parameter, we don't have to put parentheses after the assignment. Similarly, if a function body has only one line of code, it does not need to be enclosed within a pair of curly braces. If JavaScript encounters such a function body, it will treat that solitary statement as a return statement. Bodies with more than one statement in them have to be enclosed within a pair of curly braces. So we have three examples in this picture over here. In the first one, we have a function called function name which takes in no parameters and whose function body is also empty. So since this function takes in no parameters, we have to put parentheses. In the next statement, the function name takes in only one parameter and therefore we don't have to put parentheses. But it's best to do it like this, but there'll be no harm in putting parentheses to hold the parameter list. In the last statement, the function name takes in two parameters and therefore we have to put parentheses over here. So now in the next example, we have some more examples of concise body arrow functions. So here the function sum numbers takes in only one parameter and therefore no parentheses have been put, and the function body consists of only one statement. So since it has only one statement, JavaScript treats this as a return statement. So when the function sum numbers is called, JavaScript will return the sum of number plus number. But in the next example, which is called a multi-line block, the same function sum numbers takes in one parameter number, but instead of having only one statement, it has two statements. So the first statement reads the sum of number plus number is stored in the variable sum, and that sum is returned. So notice how both of these functions perform the same operation, but how this first statement is a lot more concise than this statement. So this example is similar to this example and this example, and this example is similar to this example. So now we can come to the instructions. Let's refactor plant needs water to be a concise body. Note that we've already converted the if-else statement to a ternary operator to make the code fit on one line. So now let's try and refactor this code to make it look a bit more better. So this takes in only one parameter, so I don't have to put the parentheses. And since it has only one statement, I don't have to put the curly braces either. And again, since it has only one statement, I don't need the return keyword either, so I can just delete that and make everything come onto one line. So now see, we have converted 3 lines of code into just one line. So let's see if it compiles. It compiles properly. Now let's check. Now let's call the function one time and see if we get the correct output. So I'm gonna console.log plant needs water and pass in the value of Thursday this time and click run. False is printed to the console because the day is not Wednesday, it's Thursday, and if day is not equal to Wednesday, it will return false. So guys, that was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for more content. Thank you for watching.